Okay, where we go here? Are we up here? Testing. 1, 2, 3. Seems to be live. Let's see. Let's give this a go. No sign of anybody yet, but let's see. See how long it takes people to notice what's going on here. Hmm. Hata toka. Thank you. はい。今の新しい植物とか、水出す方法とか何かありますか？
それ、スタッフノートに書いて。
書きました。OK, good. Thank you. はい。Wait. He says, wait. What's going on? There's an explanation, but might as well wait for a few minutes to see what a few people get here before we explain everything, but whatever. I've been laid off from my Octopus job temporarily. That's one by one the staff is cleaning up and leaving, getting ready to shut this place down. Although there's still people upstairs. Aoyama-san's doing sizing this evening. And Ishikawa-san's still working on some printing up there. So we'll hear them coming through one by one. And we might get some disturbance this evening from next door. You can maybe already hear it. There's a flutist or something and a drummer. And what's going on is, you might remember the NHK program that was up a while ago, the Tokyo 2020i. They featured us and some other places in Asakusa, and one of the places was the antique shop next door, which holds a dance party once every month on the evening of the first Sunday every month, which is tonight. So people are starting to gather there, and these buildings are so old, and so no insulation, no walls. He's got no walls on his stuff. It's a breezer block structure with holes in it. So whatever they do, we can hear it. They're having a party tonight. The one I took part in on that TV program. I'm not a regular attendee for their parties. That was for the TV program. Look at this, people all checking in, lining up one by one. Hey, don't start selling stuff here, please. So what I can do is I can display what I'm doing here, and if other people join into the stream later, want to know what's going on, where's the octopus, some of you guys can pass the information on. What I'm carving here, let me rotate it so you can see it, which is the top. Let me zoom back out. Oops. Okay, what we've got here, let me get that light out of the way. Okay, what we've got here, I should do it this way, just a minute. Let me get back to the camera. I can do it this way. Here, I don't know where to look. I keep looking at myself in the screen, and that's the wrong place. I got to remember to look up there to the camera, but it's difficult, really difficult to do that. Okay, what we've got here, it's a double block, it's a piece of wood with 2 images going to be on it, and this is how we've been doing our Yokai series this year. We've been doing a Kyosai image on one half of the block and a Jed image on the other half of the block. And the pattern we've been doing is we get the carving done on the Kyosai one first while Jed is still drawing. Then when Jed's image comes in, bang, it goes on. And it's the young Chinese boy has been helping me with the carving on this month by month by month. But this month, we're live. Do you want to you're going to be on live just a bit farther, as you're leaving, a bit farther. Here we go. This is Ishikawa-san. She's now maybe our chief carver. I don't know what we're going to do out of this. She's been carving get my words to it. She's been printing the Yokai series. So those of you who've been getting the prints one by one by one, Ishikawa-san has been doing half of them. So you can't see. This is the view that they see. And what I've been doing actually, let me play with this just for a minute, just to show her. We've got a different camera. The camera shows the carving, and they can see me. And then just at the moment, I've changed it because I wanted to talk to them directly and explain what this is about. So we changed back and forth. So anyway, thank you for seeing. Okay, good night. Thank you. あ、そこまで。1週間いない。はい。いや、いる。家にいる。犬の面倒見てます。Okay, no problem. Yeah, good night. Thank you. Where was I? Anyway, there it is. So it's the double block. I know the young Chinese boy, Chon-san, has been carving the Kyosai ones. He brings the block back to me. I paste on Jed's design, Jed's hanshita. It goes out to Kawasaki-san, Kawasaki Noriko, our young carver in Kobe. She then, when both sides of the key block are carved, has been sending it back to me. This has been happening every month for the past year. I do the color separations, splitting them both up, putting color separations on the color blocks. I send it back to Kawasaki-san. She carves all the color blocks, sends it back here, and we do the printing. It's been a real back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. And we have a problem this month. This should be John-san's work right now, carving this, but he's busy on another project. And some of you who have been digging around, looking in for our Kickstarter project, know exactly what's going on. John-san's carving boss number 1, and he's nearly finished the key block now, and he and I will do color separations next week. We want to try and get some of that on video so we can put it up during the Kickstarter campaign. But because he's busy with that work, who is going to do Kyosai's final print this year for the Yokai Face-Off series? There's only one carver left in the group. That's me. So the octopus is being set aside just for a couple of days while I do this key block. Let's get back to it. I think maybe this light, the camera doesn't like this light, I think, so is it washed out? Let me just kill it just a bit. If it goes down too much, I can't see. Maybe let me know in the stream or something, or pop something in one of the questions there to let me know if the light is a real problem there. Somebody had told me before it was all washed out. Okay, back to work. Like, it's no big difference, you know, carving Hokusai and carving Kyosai. They're brothers, you know, brothers in the brush. I think I made some sarcastic remark about that a while ago. So I was doing one of the Kyosai, looking at one of the Kyosai images, and said he really took his Hokusai pills the day he designed this one. But that's not really fair, because he was his own man, stupendously talented. He really had a thing about macabre, though. Stuff like this with skeletons, this is nothing. There's stories about the guy that when he was a kid, they like got him involved with places where there was bodies so he could draw these fantabulous pictures of half-rotten bodies and stuff, and I don't know, whatever. So I think there's one story, it's semi-apocryphal, whatever, he's like 7 years old or something, sketching, drawing everything, goes out in the backyard or somewhere to sketch stuff. He brings home this sketch and it's like a severed head, and he's ended up going down to the place where they hang the criminals, and so he really dug that kind of stuff. So not exactly my taste, but this level it's fun. It's also on a pretty, not rough work in the sense that I don't give a damn rough, but it's rough work in the sense that it's not delicate. The brush has been moving vividly. There's energy in the picture. There's nothing clean and neat and delicate about it. So we've got to try and catch that, but without being rough to the point where it looks sloppy. It's a difficult balance. Okay. There's also mentioned a couple of things about this too. This is a piece of a larger image that we have taken and swiped. We're doing these prints in the hagaki size, similar to a postcard size. And I've swiped an image that was a bit too large for that, so we've taken a piece of it and zoomed it up. And also what we're going to do is we're going to print the background differently. So if you can see here, parts of this image have objects. There's a skull and an arm, and there's a sort of a black fuzzy background which was in there. I'm not going to carve that. I'll be cutting that out. We'll be printing our own colored background. So don't panic if you see me cut away some black stuff. In fact, like this, for example, here. We'll do the outside of the skull here, and what's done in black here will later be on one of our color blocks. So don't panic there.中村さん、今月の給料日、遅くなって申し訳ないですね。
全然いつでも
月曜日になりました。
時間がある時で大丈夫です。
まだお金届いてないです。明日回りますから、金曜日振り込み入れたんですが、
本当ですか？
遅かったんですから。
私そんなに確認してないから大丈夫。
いや、です。だから若者たちは OK ですが、多めの人たち、違うんですよ。自宅ローン持ってるとか、クレジットカード払い日ありますとか、遅くなると大変。ごめん。金曜日やった間に、何時になったか。今回はお金がない理由じゃない。そのケースもあったんです。 scale here. Now people are asking again about scale. Well, it's a ruler. I know. Where are we? Just for the scale. These are centimeters. I don't have an inch scale in front of me. I'm sorry. This is Japan. It's shiny too. Nice. I'd like to stop it being shiny. There we go. So like that's the, where am I? That skull, whatever. It's inside a centimeter. You can tell from my fingers the size of this thing. You know. Is a real nice break from carving those dots. Something with shape and texture. This is brush stroke work, you know, you can see everything has a brush stroke here. There's thicks and thins and just about the right scale to see that. You know, much smaller than this and you can't cut the lines easily, you know. It's just fine. It's small enough so it goes very, very quickly. Bigger it is, the more time you spend chewing out wide areas. You know. Small like this, you can just zim, zim, zim. Minimum of messing around. Just do both of those curves in one shot. Take it off. Take out the inside. Then you got to get around the back of it. Poof. Is that a microscope? Yes, it is indeed a microscope. I know, I've been using it now for, I don't know, I don't use it every day for all the jobs, but for these little delicate ones, absolutely I need it. You'll see when I move to the color blocks, it won't be here. I'll just be using a normal lens on the desk. I'm not sure when I got it. It's pushing 10 years now, I guess, or so. It's been a steady progression for me, you know. I look at the pictures from me back when I was doing the Poet series, and I'm sitting there, I'm hunched close to my desk with my glasses on. I've had glasses since I was a teenager. Then when it got to be, I don't know, I didn't keep track, so I don't remember, and whatever, in my 40s or 50s, for work, I started to use a lens. I've got a black lens. Well, I can show it to you, I guess, here. It's cool. I got to learn how to change this camera back and forth. Let's try this. Here, I have a, oh, I can't see, my monitor keeps scrubbing. There's a lens like this that sits, it clamps onto the side of the bench and comes over the side, and I look down through it. And if you've watched a lot of the YouTube videos from a while back, that's the lens I'm using for most of the work. And that's what I still use today for most of the work. But for these last couple of projects, that octopus carving and now this one, which is really, really small, that stuff doesn't cut it. And move to this, move to the scope here. Whether that's fair or am I cheating or whatever, I don't think so. I mean, if I didn't have these tools, I'd be out of a job, you know, or what's the point? In the old days, before they had stuff like this, each carver worked until his own eyes gave out, and then either switched to doing rough color blocks or retired. And it's case by case, however your DNA works. Ito-san, the guy I learned a few things from, you've seen him in video presentations, he used glasses, and he says he never used a lens. But I don't think that's quite true, because I saw the clamp at the side of his desk, which is the same one that I have. So I think he was just a little bit, what's the word, TV shy, and not so willing to admit, you know, because in his mind it doesn't fit the image of traditional old carver. Whatever, I'm not willing to do that. Not the way we do it so openly, you can't hide the tools and stuff like that. So yeah, whatever, I use the scope. There was a joke, somebody was here chatting with me while I was working, and he said, well, geez, with tools like that, anybody can do this, you know. And I didn't say, okay, sit down here, you try it, because it's whatever, but we had that discussion, yeah, go ahead, you know, try it. If you think a tool like this helps you carve clean, neat, wonderful, tasty lines, then go ahead. And it doesn't help at all. It helps me see, because my eyes are getting old. But it doesn't help me carve, you know. Asuka-san, the guy I've talked about a number of times in these streams, Asuka Motoharu, my age, the only other carver in town I respect. He won't use this. What he's done is he's outfitted himself with a pair of those. He's got glasses. And I don't know what you call them. There's sort of a lens thing that flips down over the front of your glasses and then flips back up out of the way. Maybe jewelers use that sort of stuff. So he uses that. And I don't like those, because you've got to hunch real close to your bench and you can't get your hand in there. But whatever, he's found a pair that work for him, and that's what he does. So he laughs at my scope, and I saw a video a while back. It was from Hlum, Hallam. He's a British guy, or I think he might be South African or British. I don't know. He lived in South Africa for a while. He's, I guess, a bit younger than me. Yeah, maybe 10 years or so younger than me. And he's not doing wood carving. He's making, I don't know the generic word for it. He's doing metalwork, making things like sword fittings and things like that. He works at a very small scale, same as me. And he uses one of these Microscopes as well. He's got it on an arm over his desk, and he sits up much higher than me, looking down deeply into this thing. And he does some very fine, beautifully small scale work. Hlum. He's got YouTube stuff up, some of which is very, very beautifully presented. We should turn him on to this, doing Twitch. I think he'd go for this, you know, because he's quite public about his work too. You know. His in parts is much more dramatic than mine. He melts the metal, and he's got these glowing globs of hot copper and stuff and iron he throws around the room. He's also a really, really nice guy. We were chatting together. He was here. He's in and out of Japan all the time. He's quite honored, actually. In his world, those sword fittings and metalwork world, they have sort of associations and groups and contests and stuff, and people vie to get the best prize each year and things like that. And he plays that game. He's part of that, and he's won these prizes quite often back and forth. He's well respected in his community. The woodblock world doesn't have that stuff, thankfully for me. But whatever. So he was here a couple of years ago for one of those competitions, and it turned out it was his birthday. It was his 50th birthday. So the girls here got a cake for him and cheered him up a bit. And we were chatting about this and that, and somebody brought up the topic of, how long it takes to get good at this, whatever. And I think at that point there'd been a book published, Malcolm Gladwell, whatever, and he had opined that there was a magic number of 10,000 hours. And that's pretty much all you needed to do, was just keep your nose to it. Keep your bum in the chair for 10,000 hours, and you'd be good at it. And he and I just both cracked up at that, because we both had the same answer, because we've seen other people, trying to do some of the things we do. And the reason we're a little bit cynical about Gladwell's idea of 10,000 hours was that there's two ways to do that. I'm simplifying. You can repeat the same thing 10,000 times. And it's going to get you nowhere. But if you do it differently 10,000 times, or for 10,000 hours, you look at each one, how can it be better? What did I do wrong? Where am I going? If you analyze the thing and dig into it, then yeah, over the course of time, you're going to get better. But just the simple repetition is going to do nothing. Doing the same thing 10,000 times over 10,000 hours is pointless. So maybe we're misrepresenting the guy's thesis, but we both said the same thing, no way, that's not enough. It's hard to tell what's skeleton here and what's just scribble. I think that's just black background. We'll take that out. I think that's just background as well, not quite sure. Cutting off somebody's bones here. I think it's background, it is now. Okay, this one looks clean and easy. Here's the forearm. I don't know if that music from next door is very audible. I don't know. This came up the other day, somebody on Twitch said it's okay, Twitch is not like YouTube. YouTube, if they can hear a scrap of music, copyright people jump all over it. But be the third. Where's Dave originally from? No, I'm from Yorkshire. I'm from Yorkshire, England. Born in a little place called Halifax, Yorkshire. Not like you can tell from my voice. We play that game here, we get visitors from Britain. And I don't know much about British accents, but you can get the obvious ones, the people who are from maybe Birmingham or Huddersfield or something, whatever. There's some places that do have a taste that even outsiders can understand. So we play that game, I'll ask them where they're from and make them a little guess, and occasionally I'm right, and then I switch it, I can tell what part of the UK do you think I'm from? And they just stand there flabbergasted, of course, because they just start saying things like, well, you're obviously not UK, it's whatever, you're from Minnesota or something, I tell them honestly, I was born in Yorkshire, Yorkshire. And why the accent is not there is because we left there when I was 3 months old for London, and we spent the next 5 years in London. That's where my brother was born, so he's what they call a Cockney, born in London. And after that, then of course it's Canada. I should learn just for fun, practice trying to do a Yorkshire accent. I guess you can probably learn on YouTube these days or something. That would be fun just to... My mother would get upset if she heard me doing that, though. For her, getting out of there and sort of escaping was a point of pride for her, 1,000 hours. Sure, maybe I'm not trying to talk about the 1,000 hours. What I was just trying to express simply was that it doesn't happen automatically. You have to be thinking about what to do. I wasn't denying that I've had help from outside. Of course, Ito-san showed me how to carve fine hairs. Absolutely. If he hadn't shown me that, I'd be doing it a way. It would get something done, but it wouldn't be the nice, efficient way. So I'm sorry if I implied that it was something I was creating by myself. But we're going to get to that thing about the hair. I know it's coming up. The woman's hair on this octopus print is very fine, and I'll be using that to make a specific video about the things that Ito-san showed me about how to carve hair. So it'll be passed on. It'll be a question of, pass it along. Okay, what do we got here? A couple of skulls. Oh, good. People are answering for me. Thank you. Good. So I've been called in to do the carving on the last print of this year's Yokai Series. So this is going to be the print that we shipped December 1st. It's the Kyosai reproduction part of the pair of the December subscription print. And the reason I'm carving it is because the young man who's been doing the carving of the Kyosai prints for us this year, I did the first, what did I do? The first 4? I don't remember actually. It's such a long time ago now. I think I did the first 4. Then he came in, stepped up to the plate, did some. But he's now busy working on boss number 1. So I'm doing this one. We're a little bit late. This should have been started on the 15th, August 15th. So we're a couple of weeks late. Okay, we have some flexibility in the schedule. This is December's print. We're still okay. The Kyosai key has to be done, then Jed's key lines, whatever the design is, we haven't seen it yet. Then all the color blocks, and then printing has to start. So step by step, packing, story writing, getting all the envelopes ready for December 1st. There's lots of jobs to do. This is just the beginning. We have a pretty efficient little factory here. Efficient if you work by 18th century standards. Tell you what we're good at though is if somebody had some way to work out a carbon, what do you call it? A carbon budget or something for us, where you'd figure out, whatever levels of carbon dioxide and stuff it took to make your product. I am using some electricity. We've got lights running here, but there's no machines. There's no stuff being shipped back and forth all over the world. There's no plastics. We have no heating in the building. The girls have an air conditioner in their room upstairs. Got to count that, I guess. But good grief, if we had some way to calculate the carbon cost of our product, it would be just unmeasurable. And then when you put against that the fact that they're going to last 200 years, they're not going to be garbage. You've seen that video probably over on the YouTube channel. There's probably nobody on this planet that has a setup as good as ours, No, I can't brag about that. You can't. Not everybody on the planet can work in the 18th century, so fair enough, And then we're burning lots of electricity through the internet right now, twitching and all that stuff, so I shouldn't brag too much. But yeah, we're pretty good at it, I think. Carbon footprint, that's the term, sorry, yeah. I, of course, have no way to calculate ours, but it's pretty obvious where I'm getting the glue smell, Nikao smell from upstairs. Aoyama-san and Kawai-san tonight are doing sizing up there. Next batch of Heroes print starts printing on Tuesday morning. We're doing a next batch of the Flight of Fantasy print, Jed's design. So they're getting the paper ready for it. Putting glue size on it, that'll be dried. It'll hang up when they're finished, it'll dry overnight. And sometime over the weekend it'll be taken down, sliced up, pressed. Ready for printing to start on Tuesday. Well, that sort of stuff, the sizing and whatever, it was all done by outside workshops, but we've given up on that. We do it ourselves now because the quality control wasn't there. So bit by bit, we're bringing everything in-house. Somebody's just bumping into my quasi-encyclopedia out there. Yeah, there's about 10,000 pages out there of stuff. Huge database. It's not finished, never will be finished, but yeah, there's a ton of stuff out there. Problem with the older parts of my website is that they date back to like 1996 or so, 1997. And some of them, the old HTML code hasn't been updated since those times, you know. So it's a real crapshoot what you're going to bump into if you go digging in there. It's a bit too small here, these teeth. I can see them okay, but the wood isn't hard enough. At this scale, even the hard cherry wood, it's just like butter. Once you get down to this millimeter size, it's not hard enough for small lines like this. If you're mucking around there in the encyclopedia, I see a reference there to the tools and materials section. Somebody was linking here, tools and materials. In that page there, in that section there's a page about Ito-san's tools. And it's got photographs of that, the famous knife, the one that I got from his wife after he died. There's close-up pictures of that, measurements. I really wanted to get the information out there so people would know what that thing is, how it was sharpened, how it was held, how it looks like. So it's in there somewhere. I think it's called Ito-san's carving knives or something. I don't remember. The Octopus, just a couple of days. I don't know how long it's going to take me this. I know there's actually there's a glitch in the schedule coming up the next couple of days. This is now Sunday evening in Tokyo, and there'll be a stream tomorrow morning, the normal 8 o'clock Tokyo stream tomorrow morning. But tomorrow night, Monday, there will be no evening stream. So this stream, the one we're looking at now, is not going to happen tomorrow. We've got guests coming, actually kind of important. There's a person who might want to be doing some carving, some printing for us, and that's happening tomorrow evening after the shop closes. So there will be no stream tomorrow at this time, and then after that, the next day is Tuesday here, and the shop's closed. And in the morning, I've got to go back to Ome, our other workshop over there. So there'll be no streams at all on Tuesday. It's just our closing day. So I'm sorry for the Europeans here, but this time zone stream right now will be the last one for the next 3 days. There'll be 2 days off. One day because I'm looking at meeting a printer, and once because it's Ome day for me. And after that, I'll be back to normal. But is it become normal? After that, I'll be back to doing it. So for me, I'll be Wednesday Tokyo time. I'll be back at this. So my apologies for the disruption. But hey, there's lots of back numbers now to look at. Also, too, speaking about the back numbers, the old Twitch streams, they're going to hold them for 14 days and then they're gone, but we've got them all archived now. I know this, 3 or 4 people have written to me just today. I'm not panicked about this, that's the wrong word to say, but they are concerned about this, that the streams are going to disappear soon. And number 1, Dave, please save them, which I've done now, I've already done that. And then number 2, Dave, please figure out how to get these highlighted and up on YouTube. And a couple of people, 3 people actually, have asked, can they help with this? Can they get a login or something? They'll do some video editing. And I'm not quite sure how to move forward with that, but anyway, the step 1 is the stuff is saved. People are really seem worried about this, but whatever. For me, this is what I do every day, and there's nothing specifically suddenly strange about this. But hello, here they are. 1, 2, 3, all finished?
All finished.
Finished. What, the sizing? Sizing's all finished?
Okay.
Actually, hang on a second, let's show. We've got the parade from upstairs. They've been doing the sizing. Let me just change the camera, Kawai-san. I'm going to change the camera to this one. Can you move? It's Takamura-san and Kawai-san. Those are Japanese. It's the sizing liquid. Sizing liquid. Sizing. It's called size, and this is sizing liquid. Looks like it. I was in the hospital last week. It looks like a bottle of pee. This is the leftover. I know. What we got? We got this top. We can talk about it later. We got this big thing to do. We can't run right to the bottom of it. There has to be a bunch of liquid at the bottom so that the paper doesn't show. So every time we finish, there's always about 2 liters left over. And if we do more sizing within the next couple of days, tomorrow or the next day, maybe we can use this. So he's going to put this in the fridge now. But if it goes 3 days or so, this is summertime, even being in the fridge, it's too dangerous to use. So we'll just turf it. So. Anyway, there we go. Came out well tonight? Came out well?
Yes.
Okay. Good. That's the paper for fantasy.
Fantasy.
So, heroes. Gonna go to Kubota-san. So, good. The Final Fantasy parody, the blue one. The blue one. So. We're all out. So, okay. Good. Thank you, guys. Good.
Hi. Thank you.
More strange music from my email program. He did the Monster Mash, which tells me that somebody has just put in a subscription for the Yokai series. Might it be somebody on this channel? I don't know. If so, thank you very much.河合さん、腹を買って、金曜日は給料日ですが、
はい、
お金があまり送る方で、今日明日になりますね。今日月曜日になります。明日になりますから、そう。青山さんと一緒に遅かったんですね、金曜日。で、銀行に会わなかったんです。が、お金が明日回りますから。
チェックしてないんですけど、振り込みましたみたいな。
ああ、そうか。じゃあ、悠長かな。じゃあ、悠長のグループ OK。7グループ遅くなったかな。じゃあ、大丈夫か。OK。
また、10月に。
終わった？
はい、終わりました。
Great, thank you. 3人でやったんですか？中村さんも？
そうそう。写真撮ってもらって。
ああ、そっか。
ブログの。
うん。じゃあ今ちょうどいい。金井さんの紙も、久保さんの紙も、今 OK かな。
そうですね。
そう。次の締め切りはいつか来るかわからないですが。
また明日わかるか。
じゃあ明日も。
明日、久保田さんが来るんで。
あ、久保さんも来る。
あ、言ってなかった。ごめんなさい。久保田さんが
紙を取りに。
ナメ裏を持ってくる。ナメ裏じゃないや。
ナメ裏
か。ナメ裏持ってきます。
そうか。じゃあこの紙を。じゃあもし。
それで、持って帰れるようだったら、持って帰るように。
OK。じゃあ午後来る。午前中危ない。だからまだ乾かしてないか。
ああ、それだったらまあ送ってもいいかな。
OK。
明日からスタートだから。
明日からスタート。
じゃあごめんなさい。火曜日スタートだ。
でも、OK。じゃあ。
ちょっと開けとこうか。
今
このぐらいしか開いてない。
僕じゃあ寝る前にチェックしますから。
あと、動作もお願いします。
はい、どうぞ。
気づきファイルね。かいさんどこに置きました？動作機。上から下。あ、冷やした。まだ暖かいから冷やさない。
僕そのままやりますが。
もう始まってる。
そう、もちろん。時間ないでしょ。そう。時間ないです。
そうか。
今夜できるじゃないですが、
これも。
だからいや、この黒い部分を取る、別の色版になりますから。入ったらもう難しい。That's another email queue for another order. What print could it possibly be? 明日は私と河合さん。で土井さんも来るんですが、OK, good. 大変みたいな。パーティーは頑張ります。
ガンガン行こうぜ。
Okay. Okay, guys. Good night. Thank you very much. Okay. Hi. So one by one, they all leave. And as I've mentioned before in these streams, we're trying to run a Canadian company here. Canadian meaning in the sense that not like the Japanese do it, where everybody's here till God knows what time at night, pretending they're working, We're trying to do a sensible system. Work well, work hard, just work normally during the day, and get out of here. There's that thing, work expands to fill the time available for it. It's absolutely true. And if you let people get in the habit of staying late at nights, the work will never get done. And there they are. They're still sitting in these stupid chairs. So as much as possible, please go home. We'll see how it goes. We'll try and train them. I don't know. During these broadcasts, you hear my mail program make noises, and we've got it keyed to play different sounds for different stuff that's happening, so that as we work here during the day, I want people to get a feel for the fact that the prints they're making are going out. You heard that water sound a minute ago. So it's another order for the wave print, of course. We're down to the last 10 copies or so in this current batch, and Aoyama-san, just let me know. Kubota-san, the printer, will be here with the next batch tomorrow morning, so it's working out just nicely. The blocks for that printer are holding up so nicely. I probably mentioned this the other day. It might be repetitive, I'm sorry. I don't know. The great wave print we made, there's a series of YouTube videos. I think there's 15 of them. Part 1 to part 15 we showed. And we're planning number 16 now. Many people have been asking about the blocks. We made so many copies of this that the blocks are now, surely aren't they worn out, Dave? Or isn't it all over? And no, the blocks are in wonderful condition, but we need to make a video to show what's going on exactly. Show print number 1 and then print number whatever it is. We don't number them, number 1,000 or so that we've made. Then put the block under the microscope, try and shoot it properly. There's wear, but nothing dramatic at all. We really take care of those blocks. We print no more than about 60 sheets at a time. So in other words, by the time the wood starts to get soft from the moisture, we take a break. There's printers that are careless with the blocks, or publishers that are careless with the blocks. They'll just do a batch of 200 or something. And my God, during the second 100, the wood is so soft from the water that the brushes are scratching it to death with every pass. We limit it to 50 each time. And that's once a month or so, or not quite a month. The block can totally dry out before we bring it back and try again. Then we, for the printers doing the key block on a Great Wave, we don't let them use pigment that they've ground themselves, which most of us do here. We've got pigments and stuff we grind. And for that particular job, the key block on that print, we don't do that. We use commercially processed pigment. And the reason for that is, no matter how much we grind it here, in a sort of a Muller or a situation like that, we can grind all day. But you can grind away all day long. And at the end of the day, you can still, if you put it between your fingers and feel, you can still feel a little tiny bit of grittiness. The particles are just still a bit left. But what we buy is calligraphy ink, really high quality calligraphy ink. And it's made in whatever, giant factories or something, between huge steel rollers and ground for a month. I don't know. Of course, I don't know how it's made. But the point is, it comes out silky smooth. It's good rich black or blue, according to the color we buy. And there's not the tiniest amount of abrasion left in it. And we use that for all of our key blocks. The key block to this Yokai print will be printed the same way. So we get a good, nice, rich black or blue. And we've softened our brushes. And the block will last 10 times longer. I don't know, 100 times longer, whatever, than a shop that prints it with granular pigment where you can feel the crunchiness under your fingers. That's one of the cases. There's not too many. That's one of the few cases where there's a technological improvement that doesn't affect the finished print in terms of, well, hey, it looks like it was made by a machine. But it's a technological improvement that really, really makes a huge difference in the performance of the craft, and doesn't in any way whatsoever interfere with the enjoyment of the craft. I can only think of two things we do that way. One is that one, the pigment we use for key blocks. And the other one is the way we use our blocks we make with a plywood base. You know, the block I'm making on right now, it's cherry top, but it's not a solid block. We've laminated cherry at the top and cherry at the base onto a plywood center. And oh my God, it saves so much in warping and splitting and registration problems. And yet it makes absolutely no difference to the finished print. It's the same cherry wood. So that's two examples of what we're doing that's different from the old days, but that I don't think in any way is dishonest or affects the print, you know, in a bad way. So. Oh, there's lots more if you could list them. I've got an electric light instead of a candle. I mean, where do you draw the line, you know? Where are we? Where are we? Talking about Twitter, you're talking about Twitch subs and stuff, you know. I put up a statement on that today. If you're on a desktop version of this, if you look down below the video window, there's a statement about, where did I put it? I put it in the Patreon section, trying to explain our feelings here. And I have to be careful because I'm absolutely clearly, I don't know much about the Twitch ethics and the Twitch community and what's normal and stuff. I'm still stumbling along here to learn my way around the rules of Twitch and what people expect and what I should be doing. So please give me cut me a bit of slack because I'm still learning here. But I was just trying to say we wanted to not to people to think that we're here with our hands out. Oh my God, please give us money, because at the moment that part of it's going really quite well. Our normal business plus the specific campaign we set up on Patreon is handling the money thing really very well at the moment. And we have a stable, steady plan for how we're going to move forward. And those two things, our regular sales and that support from the Patreon campaign, is what we need right now, and it's sort of all we need right now. So people on Twitch here, just sit on your hands and enjoy this. Let us learn how to use this and get part of this community. And don't worry about paying for this. Please don't worry about paying for this. You know. That mail is a bit of a different one. It's on a remittance coming in from one of the subscribers. You know, it's coming in through PayPal. It doesn't need me to do anything. The remittance goes straight through to our bookkeeping system. Clicks in automatically, and it prints the paperwork for that particular subscriber on the Ome workbench. So tomorrow morning, that particular print will be it'll hit the shipping list. So. Lasers. So there's no question there's modern technologies that could do some or all of these jobs. We know. I know it's coming. I know 3D printing, I think, will be more appropriate for making these blocks than lasers, actually. We ourselves published a print about 10 years ago. It's still in my catalog, that was cut with CNC technique. Myself and Mike Lyon did it as an experiment for fun, you know. Not to try and replace myself as a carver, but just to explore the idea. So yeah, modern technology is here. And in a sense, it's nothing different. You know, Gutenberg and his boys came along and revolutionized various things about printing and typesetting and stuff. So yeah, technology has always been here to replace this job. And new ones are coming along, quicker, faster, cleaner. And it's not the slightest threat to me whatsoever. We know there's better ways to do printing. Better meaning, I know, whatever, faster, smaller detail, better color, blah, 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 whatever. But there's no better way to do printing if the result that's desired is a handmade woodblock print. And if that's the thing you were trying to make, a handmade woodblock print, then, you know, here we are. And this is what I want to make. And as long as there's people out there in the world who will still say, you know, I'd like to have one of those myself. And as long as those two things still match, we'll keep doing this. And sure, I know about lasers and 3D and whatever. And there's a bunch of people actually exploring it. There was a young Frenchman in the workshop here. It's a month ago, 2 months ago. It's hard to bounce. His name was something Benoit. And he's got some stuff on YouTube here. I don't know. What he's doing is he's using lasers. He's doing really, really interesting work. He came and said hello to us and chatted, and he was a bit worried that I was going to blow him away, get out of here because you're using lasers and stuff. No, we had a great time. He left a print with me. And what he's doing is he really enjoys the printing aspect to this and putting color down and mucking with the colors. But he either doesn't find himself has enough dexterity for carving or he doesn't enjoy it. I don't remember the detail. But what he's doing is he's using lasers to cut into his blocks to do the delicate parts and all the lines. And then he comes in with his chisel and takes away all the waste wood around the laser cut area. Then puts the wood on the table, gets his paints and stuff with a Japanese paper, Japanese barren, and goes for it. He's got a couple of nice videos. One of his friends is sort of a videographer who did a bit of an artistic video pair for him. Is it Googleable here? The guy's name was Benoit. Can I take a second to just try and Google it so you can find this, because it's really, really, really interesting. The French printmaker using lasers. Here's a video link. Can I just drop this into the chat? I guess so. I'm allowed to type into the chat, right? Send a message. So here's 3 Vimeo links, and the guy's name is here. Here's the guy's name. Oh, those links came out. Whatever. Anyway, when you get time later, or do this now, whatever you want. I know he's a very interesting young man, and he's doing what some of you are talking about there, working with lasers. Working with lasers to make traditional Japanese prints. And as for design, he's doing some traditional reproduction. I saw the one he showed me was a total reproduction along the lines of the things we do. And then something else he showed me was an original. And he was nervous that I was going to blow him away, get out of here. No, we're quite happy to see him. It was good fun. Hey, is that the first time I've ever participated in one of my own chats? We should get more, someone like that guy, and then Ford. I mentioned Ford Hlum doing the sword metalwork. There could be a real interesting community here on Twitch. People doing these different Japanese crafts. It's so easy to get started. Anybody can do it. It seems the demand, it's there, it seems. People like, the people watching this today, there seems to be a very steady demand. People want to watch other people work, or I don't know what the real demand is for, but okay, get these fingers, skeleton fingers. Welcome to the chat, thanks. Please help me, make me feel at home. This is a nice change from the dots, though, I like my job and everything, but a little change up is okay. I should get in to clear some of that while I'm here, I think. Crunching sound, right? Okay, where to next? What are your questions here? What is this? It's one of the Yokai face-off prints. Yes, this is number 23 in the Yokai series this year. Type of Japanese cherry, it's Yamazakura. Yamazakura, Japanese cherry is the wood. How do you handle miscarvings? Yeah, we chip. I don't chip all the time. I chip sometimes. We'll get it. We'll have our first twitch mistake somewhere along the line in 2 minutes or in next month. I don't know. When there's chips to come out, I fix it. We don't use glue and putty and stuff like that. Fixing a mistake involves cutting a slightly larger hole and then putting a piece back into it. In fact, if I can take the trouble again to find a link, just a sec here. If I go to, just a moment, you get to stare at my face while I type. Need my glasses. Here we are, at the link. If I can come back to my own chat. Okay, here's a link to a blog post showing our basic repair procedure, or one basic repair procedure. Bingo. And the idea is simple. When you've chipped or forgotten something, this one on that link I just sent you isn't a chip, it's a forgotten. We've got the test printing, and I realized there's a big empty white space, an area I forgot. When I was carving the color blocks, I took it off by mistake. And it's not a disaster. You just sit down. Well, it didn't take 15 minutes, whatever. I should keep a bunch of links like that handy because people keep asking the same questions. So if I had a little link collection at the side of the screen here, there's Ito-san's carving knife. There's how I hold the left-handed knife. The same questions, it's clear, are coming back. But different people are in the chat, so I can't blow them away. We've already talked about that. Go and look it up. That's not fair. Obviously, as more and more people come into these chats or watching this stream, the same questions are really going to come back. Yeah, an FAQ kind of at the bottom of the page below the video with a bunch of these in it. That might not be a bad idea. I mean, by definition, that's what an FAQ is for, isn't it? I'm not really bothered about the same question concept. I mean, I've been doing this now for all these years, and of course people ask the same things, you know. It's not something I'm, you know, upset about or whatever. Of course, just part of the way it goes. Especially as we increase the number of people seeing us or meeting us, of course the same questions are going to come back. So just combination. Maybe I'll make an FAQ. People will read it, some people won't read it, doesn't matter. Maybe I'll keep a link list handy so that I could do what I just did now, pop it in there. It doesn't matter. There's always going to be people who haven't seen it before, so don't sweat it. There's no perfect answer to it. It doesn't matter. What's the schedule here now? It must be around 7 or something, right? Yeah, I just have to. I'll run this till about, I guess, 7:30 or so. I'm not sure. Got to go out and get dinner then. It was a real pleasant day in the shop today. You know, not so busy because we're in our end of the summer, not slump, but end of the summer quiet season before the autumn, the autumn onslaught gets here. End of September, October, just, oh my God, you know. That's what you get when you open a shop in a tourist district of one of the most popular tourism countries on the planet, you know. It's okay, that's why we did this, it's why we're here, but it's going to go absolutely apeshit in October. But today was a peaceful day. It's better too, you get more chance to chat with the people that are here, you know. Today was a proxy visitor, you know. A young man and his Japanese wife were here, American. And he was here. His brother in America had sent him over to get a specific item. So he himself didn't know too much about us. So it was funny, you know, looking around and whatever. But he had been sent here by his brother, so we got to take a picture together to send back, and you know, it's fun. It's still, you know, can't get this sometimes, you know, every day the people, you know, they're here and they ask, and can we take pictures, and they've seen the YouTubes, and it's ego, whatever, you know, it tickles your ego. People think it's something special and it's fun, and it's just always smiles. It's smiles start to finish. People come up the stairs and are happy to be here, and someone will do a print party, and oh my God, look at the print. And they just go dancing down the stairs when they leave. You know. This doesn't get any better than this. Sure beats working. I think back to the discussions, you know, that when I was in my early 30s, I was working in Canada, job in a music store, 2 little kids, you know, gainfully employed, useful business supplying music to school kids, you know, saxophones, violins, you name it. It was a good job. But I wanted to come here and play around with this stuff. Quit the job. 2 little kids. They were 1 and 3 at the time. We saved up enough to survive for, we thought, half a year. Money ran out in a month. Came here, they wouldn't give me a culture visa. I got a 3-month tourist visa at first. And here we are. Here we are, all those years later, now I'm carving skulls. It's funny, people see coming on. What's the block? What's the block? Where's the octopus? What do we got? Twitch mobile? I can't tell that. Let me be honest. Questions. I don't see a question in my question box, so sorry, whatever. Don't talk to people about metal music. My God, the trouble we have with the guy downstairs, you know. The guy downstairs is a jeweler. Put it in quotes, whatever, I don't know. He's a quasi-hippie. He's about 50 years old, a bit younger than me. He's a bit of a latecomer to the hippie scene. He's got a jewelry shop downstairs, and he specializes in death metal jewelry. He's totally in the wrong district, you know, whatever. He should be anywhere else except Asakusa. And there's jewelry about skulls and stuff, and he listens to death metal music on the train on the way through his headphones to get ready for making his jewelry when he gets here. He never ever has any customers. And we have various theories about what kind of business he's actually running, but we don't know. But yeah, the Mokuhankan building, the building we're in, is the home of death metal jewelry. He makes sterling silver skulls and you name it. So yeah, I'm actually carving. I should be downstairs. I should go and show this to him. We're not supposed to talk to him. The landlady is, you know, she and he are always in court, and she's told me, don't you talk to that guy. Hey, a true question. Is it something I can answer? Who knows? A giant question. I know, a giant question. Somebody's referring to a blog post I must have made, whatever, a year or 2 years ago, a year and a half ago. I don't remember. It's a long story. Paper problems. Paper problems. It's a gigantic story. I'm nearly finished this stream, so I shouldn't actually start this long story right now. We've got lots to talk about with paper. to answer the question in a very short, try and answer it in a short way, we have the end in sight. The paper which we've been using for many, many years has decayed to the point where it's time for us to bail out. This is what we did with the sizing. The sizing became unbearable, unacceptable, so we bailed out and we did our own. The wood blocks became just unbearable, unusable, so we bailed out and we're making our own. The paper is it last summer, 2 summers ago, had such severe problems, our production basically stopped for a couple of months. While we tried to figure out how to use it, how to fix it, how to get it replaced. And it's come back to a certain level of acceptability, but the absolute handwriting is on the wall. That workshop, living national treasure, hundreds of years of history in one family. And it's no secret. I don't care if they hear this or not. We're going to bail as soon as we can. We're still buying from them, but we spent a lot of time over the past year building another source, which I'm really not ready to talk about publicly. I'm sorry. I'm not trying to be coy, but we have found a young man, and we're working very, very closely with him to create a paper that will be suitable for another generation of traditional Japanese woodblock printmakers. It's made in a different area, a different part of Japan than our traditional paper has always been. He's trailblazing for us. He's already been kicked out of his local craftsmen's association, not because of us, but because of things he himself is doing to modernize his procedures, and the old guys there didn't like it. And he is an absolutely crazy man. And he wants to make the best paper that's ever been made in this country, and we're so lucky to have found him. We've had samples from him. The first production paper that's going to come from him, I really shouldn't be talking about this. It's coming in December this year. And we're going to do a multi-year process of shifting all of our own production from the old paper that's been in use for 200 years, but which is no longer remotely acceptable, over to a brand new type of paper that hasn't even been named yet. We're still working with him to try and figure out how to name it, how to brand it. And yeah, we're going to blow that part wide open. He is so good at it. That's actually, I guess I can talk about this. That's actually this coming Kickstarter campaign. That's actually what it had been planned for. I guess I can talk about this. It's okay. It's not secret. I know what we had wanted to do was, you can't just make paper from nothing. The guy needed a source of mulberry fiber. He's been buying from, the same places that have been making it for years, but which are now closing one by one by one by one. Because of lack of people to run the places. These are all country villages, and the population is just crashing. All country villages all over Japan. And the mulberry supply has become critical. So the purpose of our Kickstarter campaign was actually originally going to be, we were going to buy a mountain. I don't mean in the sense of a peak, but we were going to buy some land near this man's village and start planting our own mulberry fiber. But he wouldn't let us do that for him. And I get what he's after here. What we wanted to do was we wanted to buy the land, get the mulberry in, and then, supply it to him. But of course, from his point of view, that means that he's totally tied to us. So what he's doing is he's doing that himself. He won't let us invest in it to that extent. He's arranged his own financing. He's doing it himself. And, it's for us. The paper's coming to us now. But what I wanted to do, I'm trying to be the evil businessman here. I wanted to try and lock it all in so that he was making paper on our land with our mulberry. And I'm not evil. I'm just, I'm trying to stabilize this business, And he and I were laughing about this conversation. It wasn't, dark sunglasses and threats of violence and, whatever. We're just having a fun conversation about how to get this thing going. And I understand he didn't want to be tied to us. It's not a question of trust, it's just common sense for him. And we really wanted to tie him to us because we have no other options. So it's okay. And at the moment, it's his business. He's going to run it. We are the person who is guaranteeing the orders, giving him the order guarantees, which is what he needed to be able to get his money in order and buy this property and stuff. So it didn't work out the way we wanted. We wanted to do the Kickstarter and go out there and take pictures together, take video in the mountains, and dear Kickstarter backers, here's what your money is coming for. You are going to help us put together the dying tradition of Japanese paper. And we could have just gone ballistic with that. But we can't do that. He's doing it. And although it's our money at the end of the day from buying prints that's going to make it happen for him, he understandably didn't want us to make it our project, so it's okay. So we refocused the Kickstarter campaign on our own new generation of prints, which you'll hear about next week. It'll be boss, but it's fine. It's all going in the same place at the end of the day. The Kickstarter orders will be for prints which will be made starting in January. Will be made on this new paper. We'll be talking about all this later. So yeah, the question, whatever, I'm sorry, I forget the question, just have you solved the paper problems? No, but are we working on it? That guy's workshop is so cool. We're going to be showing video and stuff about it later. I know the first thing that struck me when I saw the first pictures of it, when I first heard about this guy's workshop, I saw pictures of it, and it looks... I remember when my kids were in school, we took a visit one day to the place that made school lunches. There's a special company here, whatever. It was a municipal facility that was making the school lunches for kids in elementary school. And you've never, ever, ever, ever seen a hospital that clean. I know these people are in surgical gowns and gear, and the floor is just whatever. You've never seen anything that clean. This guy's workshop looks like that. And if you've ever visited a traditional papermaker's outfit in Japan, whatever, you'll know. Cleaning the floor can give you a break. Who would think of something like that? The place where we get our papermaker, Iwano-san's workshop, he's got his large... What's the name for them? The place where you put the water in the fiber and you do your dipping. I don't know. They're there. They haven't been moved for generations. And above them, there's the old beams of the building that have been in place for generations. And these beams are like huge, wide beams. And it looks cool. Wow, look at this old, fabulous place. Wonderful. But those beams are covered with a thick layer of grotesque soot and dust. And every time a truck goes down the highway, go, 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 go. You can see it. And that dust is falling in the vats where he makes the paper, and it's all old and quaint and cool, and it's disgustingly filthy. And this new young guy working with us, Sawaki-san, I tell you, it looks like a hospital. And I was just in awe. He's got a bank of refrigerators. He puts the fiber in so it doesn't get moldy in the summer. I've been to Iwano-san's workshop sometimes and gone in the door and I got a gag. I cannot breathe. I've run out the door and Jun-san laughs at me because of the stink of the rotting fiber. And then he says, it's okay, we'll wash it before we make your paper, Give me a break. So yeah, paper is looking good. Where am I here? I think it's about time for me to go get some dinner. To replay again what I said a few minutes ago, the schedule. This is Sunday night. Tomorrow in Japan, Monday, there will be a Monday morning. I'll put the camera on myself. There will be a Monday morning broadcast tomorrow, 8 o'clock Japan time. There will not be a Monday evening broadcast tomorrow. That's this time. tomorrow. And Tuesday there will be neither. There will be neither a morning nor an evening broadcast. I'll be back to normal Wednesday. I put a sort of schedule in here, I think I said that. There will be no broadcasts on Tuesdays. That's a set rule. I'll be in the Ome workshop. Okay, as always, I'm going to read through this chat to see what happened and what questions I missed and how I screwed up and whatever, and I enjoy some of the companionship. Thank you very much, and that's it. I'm off to get dinner. Thank you again for watching. We're really having a good time with this, and I hope you guys are too. Good night. Thank you.